What's up, YouTube? This is a Two Stangs production. I'm your host, Two Stangs. Today we're going to talk about this 1984 Mercury Cougar. And yes, it is a Foxbody. This is what I'm calling the forgotten Foxbody. Let's check it out. So Smitty, tell us about this beautiful and unique 84 Mercury Cougar.
All right, we'll start out with the hood scoop. It's all metal, it's handmade, it's the only one like it in the world. It does well in venting the heat out of the engine compartment as well. There's no fiberglass in it, the hood's metal, and so was the scoop. We'll open the hood up.
So Smitty, tell us a little bit about this motor.
It's a 363 Boss stroker. It's good to 2,000 horsepower on the bottom end. It's got 4-bolt mains. There's no water passages between the cylinders. It's really strong engine. This one has about 700 horse. Then I have a 300 shot of nitrous on top of that. And it's got the large heads. It's got the large long tube headers. Did some design work for Elderbrock on their Victor Jr. intake. You see how everything's black, but the ports on top are buffed and shined. All the nitrous ports are ground off. That's all custom work. Elderbrock liked that when I showed them pictures of it, because they have a NASCAR intake that's all black, and they have a polished one, but not the combo like that. This has dual fans, a pusher and puller. It also has its own oil cooler with its own fan on that as well. So there's 3 fans up front. So that's cooling the transmission separately, and I also have a separate gauge for the transmission, so I can see how hot one is from the other. This engine is so high performance it doesn't pull enough vacuum for brakes. So this is an electronic controller that sends vacuum to the brake booster. So it's done electrically instead of vacuum operated, because there's not enough vacuum in this motor to operate the brakes. A guy in California made me this supercharger cap.
Okay.
Which is going to be used eventually on one of the superchargers that I have. And I also had graphics special made for that, the Boss 363. This engine is rare, so they don't really make any emblems or stickers or anything. This is all homemade here too. Like I said, they don't make anything 363 wise. They make 347 and everything else, but so that's all done from scratch.
So Smitty, tell us about this unique interior you've got on this 84 Cougar.
It's all custom. The back seat has been removed. I did all the upholstery myself. I don't know if you can see the Cougar head on the back wall back there.
Okay.
The roll bar is made from scratch. This is not a store-bought roll bar. I made this. The dash is all billet. It has been engine turned. Took 150 hours to spoil those marks on there. It's got 5 coats of clear over the top. And I did that with this panel here and the shifter panel. This is all homemade. It has LED lights for the different gears on here. I have a full set of gauges, 9 gauges. This is for the transmission. This mount here is custom. Instead of putting it in the dash, it was put here separately. It shows big speakers in the back, but the speakers are just fake grills. There's no stereo in the car, just for looks. There's actually no speakers even there. The emblems on the door, on the inside of the door, are homemade. I made those. They're one-offs.
Okay.
I made those out of acrylic. You put hardener in it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I made all that.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about some of the surprises you got in the trunk of this car.
All right, we got eliminator spoiler. That's also handmade, not the one where these cars didn't come with one at all. I have a 300 shot of nitrous. I have a 15-gallon fuel cell. And it has a dual water pump reservoir for the burnout system. One pump for each tire that sprays the slicks down when you want to do a burnout. It pumps a lot of water out really quick, just in a few seconds.
Okay.
Then you pull up into your puddle, and then you put your line locks on and do your burnout. This also has line locks.
Okay.
I street race. It has a communications jammer in it that jams radios for a 5-mile radius. And like I said, it has, you know, the water burnout reservoir system, and it has a James Bond license plate. When this is clicked up, you don't see anything but the plate. When you pull the secret lever up front, whether you're rolling or stationary, this comes down, it's spring loaded, stays down, and then you have your NMRA kill switch and your battery terminals for your battery for charging or jumping your battery. But when this is up, you don't see anything. And I'm gonna go trip it for you so you'll see what it looks like.
Okay. All right.
Works every time. It doesn't flop around or move. The backup lights here,
Uh-huh.
are generally just clear white.
Right.
And I hand painted these Cougars in there. You
Okay.
see that?
Okay.
I did all that by hand.
All right.
The drive line this car has, it has a C4 automatic with a 4,000 stall speed. Everything has been upgraded from the drive shaft, the universal joints. The rear end is an 8.8 positive track Detroit locker. It has an Eaton electronic Detroit locker in it that you hit with a switch, and it puts it in direct mode. And when you hit the switch back, it just puts it in regular limited slip mode, so it doesn't pop when you go and, you know, turn it into a parking lot or whatever.
Right.
It doesn't pop.
Right. Right.
Yeah. It's got 410 gears in it. All the suspension in the front is drag race suspension. All the suspension in the front is also drag race suspension.
So Smitty, who painted the car?
I did.
You did it yourself?
Nobody touched this car. I did everything from A to Z. Nobody touched this car.
Oh
I did the
man.
upholstery, the welding, the fabrication, the paint, the motor, the drive line, all the custom work, everything.
This is Stick Stangs production. Thank you for watching and subscribe and like.